Hey, it's a truck and tanker Yanker. Stay tuned, because I wanted to tell you about driving over the hours of service and how the federal government and state governments will okay it. Stay tuned.
Breaker, this is the truck and tanker Yanker. I'm 10-8 with my 10 in the wind. My heaters are glowing, my manners are showing. Wind her up and let her go, come on. I'm your travel agent with a story to tell. Let's go for a ride.
Hey, it's truck and tanker Yanker. I'm back with you to talk about going over hours of service. Now, this is a Friday right now when I'm recording this, and I've just had a week where we were over our hours of service in my permit book. I stuck my official thingy in here. Leave the permit book out so I can get back to it. All right, I don't know if you can read that. There you go. All right, just to read it to you. Regional Emergency Declaration under 49 CFR 390.23, blah, blah, blah. Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, District, Columbia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming are all declaring a home heating oil emergency. And so consequently, anybody hauling home heating oil or fuels, which is what I haul. We haul oil and, which would be like number one fuel or number two fuel, and propane, which is what I haul mostly and what I've been hauling this week, are exempt from hours of service. So that way it can get to where people are, and if you're in a part of the country that haven't had heat for a week and you're cold, and you're using a propane-powered space heater or something like that, which I got at home. Not that we've been without, but we do have space heaters at home for various different things. But that's what we are exempted from the hours of service, so I can drive tired, basically. Now, obviously, you got to be smart about it, know your limits, and you can grab a cat nap, and that will help you keep on going and that type of thing. But that's what I've been doing this week. And while I'm pretty much caught up on my sleep right now, I'm tired. It's the end of my week and I'm still tired. And but it reminded me of after Hurricane Katrina, and it hasn't been that long ago, and so you might remember what happened down on the Gulf Coast. Texas, Louisiana were hit hard by the hurricane, and Texas City, where a lot of fuel comes from, refineries and things like that, was offline. And so consequently there was you could probably say that there was a fuel shortage in that region that is affected by Texas City, but I'm in Montana and we're not affected by that. Billings, Montana has 3 refineries, and we got Conoco, we got Exxon, and we got Cenex refineries, and those refineries service basically the region from, you could probably pretty much say that's impacted by those 3 refineries would be let's see, eastern Washington, the panhandle of Idaho, all of Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, probably that region is affected by those 3 refineries. And so consequently, we did not have a fuel shortage. It was a manufactured fuel shortage because of what was on the news. People ran down and were filling all of their cars, filling all of their jerry cans, gas cans, barrels. They were just filling everything because they were afraid there was not going to be any fuel left, and they'd probably seen the Road Warrior in 1979 or whatever year that was, and the whole world was all after fuel. Well, truth is, about after a year, there's not going to be any fuel for anybody when a situation like the Road Warrior. Fuel does have a shelf life, unless you put seafoam in it or something like that, but it does have a shelf life, and it just becomes varathane and stinks in a different kind of stink than fuel normally stinks in. but and that's because it becomes something else. So anyway, so we were running around the clock at that time, and it was kind of funny for me because, like I said, I was running around the clock, and that was a few years ago, and I could run around the clock a little better than I can now. And anyway, but over the years, my brother drove truck, and he started driving a couple of years after I did. And over the year, we'd run team together. You probably already heard my stories, a couple of them with my brother David in them, and when we run team together. Anyway, and over the years, we'd called each other to stay awake. Oftentimes, over the years, I've had a night job, and where I run all through the night. And he's, for quite a few years, has had mostly night jobs where he ran all night long, and so our schedules kind of overlapped, and we just keep each other awake. And so anyway, I think I called him around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and my head was a bobbing, and all I wanted to do, I had another hour to go to get to my location so that I could unload a load of gasoline and diesel, whatever it was I had on, and just get to that location. Then I could put my head on the steering wheel after I got unloaded because they were waiting for the fuel. So anyway, I called my brother about 1 o'clock in the afternoon because my head was bobbing, and I needed to. And I said, "Keep me awake, David." And he goes, "It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon over there where you're at." He was on the West Coast, and so he was an hour behind me. And he says, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He says, "What is your head bobbing now for?" And I said, "Well, it's this fuel emergency that Katrina caused, and everybody's running down, filling up all of their cars and filling up all their jerry cans and barrels and everything that they can fill up. And so it's just caused a huge demand that we're trying to meet, even though we're not out of fuel here. We got plenty of fuel. We're just trying to haul it." And he's like, "Oh, huh." Anyway, so we just chit-chatted about all sorts of different things, and being truck drivers, we talked about the things that, we've seen on the road, and, experiences, and, just things that you have in common, and that type of thing. Just chatting to stay awake is all I was doing, and he was keeping me awake. So anyway, we probably chatted on for about 15, 20, 30 minutes, and this conversation was kind of lulling, so I'm looking for something to say so we can just keep our brains going. And I said, "So what are you doing today?" Because it was his day off, and it was his day off, so he was just talking to me from home. And I said, "What are you doing today?" He goes, "Oh," he says, his wife, Frances, he said, "Frances wants me to go down and fill up all the cars and jerry cans," and and I go, even though he's like, several states away, I was like, "You're the reason why I'm out here trying to keep my eyes open." He thought that was funny because they weren't affected by the Texas City either, but because of the panic on the news, they had a fuel emergency also over there, and because everybody's scared that they're going to run out of fuel. It's kind of like the toilet paper situation. It's like, hey, if the apocalypse actually comes, you will run out of toilet paper, and you will have to figure something different out. And and it's like, I don't know if that 3-month supply of toilet paper you stacked in your garage is really going to help you in 5, 10, 20 years when an apocalypse comes. But anyway, that's the way people are. So anyway, it was just kind of a funny on that one. So anyway, just had to wave at one of my compadres that just drove by. I'm in the yard right now, so everybody's kind of moving around, switching trailers and things like that, and he's doing a great big U-turn for some reason. But anyway, so that was just the thing that came to mind, was about the fuel situation, and running over on the hours of service. It happens every now and again where we get an exemption, and it's because they deem that the emergency is larger than the safety factor for driving over the hours of service. And of course, it's expected of us to not do anything stupid, and to actually fall asleep while you're driving. They don't need fuel that much. So I see why he did a great big U-turn. He did like a huge figure 8, and we don't have a very big area here, I'll tell you that much. He's trying to get the truck into the shop. So anyway, but it kind of distracts me when stuff's going on and he's waving at me and looking at me, wondering why I'm talking at my dashboard. So Anyway, but that's what the hours of service. That's kind of why they would do that, is because it's an emergency and considered an emergency. Now the current one that we have, because of the snowstorms and things like that across areas that don't normally get snow and cold weather and ice and all that kind of stuff, that is a relatively short-lived. We just got about, let's see, what was it, about probably about a total of 2 weeks of exemption. So it looks like about next Friday it'll be over. So a week from today the exemption will be over. But anyway, just wanted to tell you about that. Anyway, hey, take her easy. Keep the shiny side up, dirty side down. Look on beyond your hood ornament. Don't be a bumper sticker, right? Because that's unprofessional. So hey, give me a thumbs up if you like this content, and subscribe. Tell your friends. You know, that's what it's all about, is just word of mouth, because I give little tips and tricks and safety things for both drivers, truck drivers, and for regular motorists. And we just want everybody to be safe out there. So hey, take her easy, eh? We gone.